Hello everyone, this is Ashu, and in this video I am going to talk about querying a database with JDBC in Java. So, in Java, with the help of a JDBC, we are able to connect with the databases and we are able to perform different kinds of operation like retrieving of data, adding of data, and deleting of data within the databases. So, the abbreviation JDBC stands for Java Database Connectivity. And with the help of this, we are able to do wonders with our whatever the data that will be stored in our database. And now let's go deep into it so that we can understand about the JDBC concept. So before we are diving into it, we need to understand that how we could able to access this JDBC, like how we need to write a program that with the help of this JDBC so that we could be able to access the database. So now for this, the major core are 5 steps, which are useful for connecting any Java application with the database with the help of a JDBC. The steps are the 5 which are given below. The first one is registering the driver class, and second one is a creating of connection, and then creating of a statement, and the fourth is executing the query, and then the fifth is the closing of connection. So now let's see each of these particular step in a deep way. So coming on to the registering the driver class, here we can see that we are having a class named as a class. So in this we'll be having a method named as name. So with the help of this method, we can register the driver class. So what is a driver class? Actually, when we are using the JDBC and between a Java program, so it is acting as a mediator and it is trying to send the information by collecting the information from the whatever the database you are having and passing it to the Java program. So that's what the driver class would be having. So here you are trying to register the driver class with this particular method named as a name, which is a method of the class named as class. So now the syntax of the name method is public starting void name, and you need to write the string class name, and here it might be having a chance of throwing a class not found exception. And now example to register the Oracle driver class. So here is an example for that. That is oracle.name, and here we are just passing the name of the class. So now coming on to the second step, that is creating the connection object. Here for creating a connection object, we are using the driver manager class, and the method inside it is now named as get connection. So here the syntax of this using get connection method is connection get connect. You need to create an app, like here you can see an example that whatever we are using, driver manager is a class and the method used inside this is a get connection. So here we are using the membership operator, that is dot operator, and driver manager dot get connection, and you are passing the whatever the URL that is there, the URL in which your Oracle databases are stored, and then also you are passing the Oracle username and Oracle password, and then you will be created a connection you that would be named here as a con. And coming on to the third step, that is a creating the statement object. So whenever you want to create the statement object, we are using the method named as create statement, which is of the taken from the connection interface. So now for this creating, we have the syntax like statement create statement, and it is having a chance of throwing an SQL exception. So here, example to create the statement object. So for if you want to create an example of this create statement, here we could see that whatever the connection we have created, so connection dot create statement, this will be leading to the creation of statement. So the previously created connection, after we have applied the get connection method on the driver manager class, that will be leading us to give a connection, and if you apply the create statement on this connection object, then you will be getting your statement. So this is the way you can create a statement. And coming on to the fourth step, that is the execute the query. So if we want to execute the query, then we have to use the method named as an execute query, which is taken from the statement interface. So here, whatever the statement we have used, whatever the statement that was produced during our third step, we'll be applying this execute query method on that, and whatever the query that you want to execute, whatever the data manipulation query that you want to give, you will be passing it here. Like here, you can see that here we have passed the query as select star from EMP, which is a SQL query. So here in the example result set RS, so it is giving us a result set, and smt.execute query select star from EMP. So this is the way you are creating the result set, or you are extracting the result from whatever the query you want to get from the SQL. Now we can see that if you want to print the values, here we can have a simple example, that is like while rs.next. So here we are trying to print all the values which are present in the result set. So here while we'll be checking the condition unless until you will be having further more values. And here we are trying to print that if in this case our database will be consisting of a table in which you will be having the name of the table is emp, and that table must be consisting of two columns. The very first column will be of an integer type and the second column will be in a string type. So with the help of rs.getInt and rs.getString, we are trying to get them. So now this is the way we have executing the query, that is our fourth statement. And after the completion of this task, that is here in the fourth step, we have printed whatever the values we have retrieved. So after the retrieving of the data, now we need to close the connection, and it's having a very simple syntax and example. You can see that it's just con.close. So with the help of this one, you could just close the connection. And this is the 5 steps that everyone must follow for creating a connection between the Java program and a database with the help of a JDBC. Now here, if we just go on to the entire program at one glance, then we could see that here, whenever you are trying to perform all these kinds of operation, then all these kinds of JDBC programs, inbuilt classes will be stored in the package that is an SQL. So you need to import the java.sql.star package. And here we are having the class, and inside this we are having main method, and then we are trying to have a try. So whatever you are writing it, you are writing it in a try block. So whenever an exception even occurs, then you would be able to handle it rather than stopping the execution of the program. So now we can see that in the step 1, that is loading the driver class, we have written the class.forName, and whatever the name, whatever the directory, whatever the class path is there, that you have passed it here. And now in the step 2, we have creating the connection object, driver manager.get connection, and you're passing the URL and also the system, what are the Oracle username and Oracle password, and the connection is created. And with the help of this connection and create statement method, you are creating your statement. That is your step 3. And coming on to the next one, here we are having the step 4, that is the execute query. So in this execute query, as we have already seen, statement.execute query is being applied, and you are passing the DML query within the inside of this method, and you are taking your result set and you're trying to get the values that are present in the result set with the help of getInt and getString. And next we are having the step 5, that is a connection.close. That is a useful for closing of a connection. And here, as we have already used the try block, so we always a try block must be followed by a catch block, and that would be catching an exception. So here we are using the exception that will be printing the exception. So this is all about the JDBC concepts, and always whenever we're creating a JDBC, we must remember these 5 points in order to retrieve the data and use it for our purpose in our Java program. Hope that this video was helpful to you. Thank you.